Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and this is your boy Patrick Valentine, and I'm here to give you guys another All Wrestling review, the first one of 2025. Now I was planning on doing one when you guys saw my Raw review of Netflix. I straight up said I was going to do a All Wrestling review of everything else, but I completely forgot, as always. So, but the only reason why I forgot was because, well, obviously making videos for the channel, streaming, lots of streams, and you know, just being very hot. It's also been very, very hot over these last few days. So, I've just been making a lot of other new videos and even starting up new Let's Plays, like you just saw me post today, of the new Donkey Kong Country Returns. Well, my new Let's Play of Donkey Kong Country Returns on my 3DS. So anyway, today I'm going to be going over the All Wrestling review. It's not going to be like your typical All Wrestling review. I usually go over 1 week. Like I said, I do all of the first shows of 2025, but because I've, you know, third week in, second or third week in. So I decided I'll just do everything all at once. So first off, I'm just gonna start with SmackDown. And the first SmackDown we had Tiffany Stratton cash in her thingy-majiggy, the briefcase, to become the new champion. That was really the only big major highlight from me when it comes to the first SmackDown of the new year. And, I mean, I would rather Tiffany over champion than Nia. I would rather Tiffany as champion over Nia. But Tiffany is still not a good choice of a champion either, because, again, she's just not very likable at all. But that's just my personal opinion. I would rather take Tiffany as my champion over Nia Jax, though. Even though Nia Jax is a lot better now, but again, people only seem to like her now because she's under Triple H. When Stardom had a show where they had Mercedes Moné capture 2 more championships, she's now got 4 belts. She beat Mina Shirakawa to win 2 other belts. I'm not sure the names of them were, but I saw a picture of Mercedes holding 2 more belts. And of course, this is now causing the entire internet to call Mercedes the female Hulk Hogan. I mean, like, guys, just shut up. Just shut up. Seriously, just shut up. Like, the thing that drives me nuts about Mercedes is that people wanted this woman to fail. When she left WWE, everyone has been wanting her to fail. People have been wanting to see this woman fail. You know? Mercedes Moné is doomed to fail, or whatever. Like, everyone thinks she was gonna fail. Everyone wanted to see this woman fail. Everyone wanted to see her to come back home to WWE. That's all people want. That's the reason why people are mad about her holding 4 championships. It's ironic how she can't hold 4 championships, but Roman can pick on 2 titles for 4 consecutive years. For 4 consecutive years, Roman can hold 2 belts, but Mercedes holding 4? Nah, that's crossing the line. That's crossing the line. Mercedes can't wear 4 belts. Well, then Roman Reigns sure as hell can't wear 2. But the point I'm making is that fans wanted Mercedes to fail so badly. They wanted her to fail in Japan. They wanted her to fail in AEW. They wanted her to fail everywhere she goes. They wanted her to fail so bad to the point she would come back to WWE. That's all people want. That's all people wanted. They wanted to see this woman fail just so that she can come crawling back to WWE. Please, Hunter, make me a star. Please, she's made herself a star. She has made herself a star. And she didn't even need WWE to do it. WWE chose Becky Lynch and Becky Lynch and Charlotte as their stars over Mercedes. They paid Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair all the superstar money. They viewed them bigger stars than Mercedes. So again, WWE viewed Becky Lynch and Charlotte as bigger stars and bigger draws than Mercedes. So that's their loss. So Mercedes is now holding 4 championships, and as for AEW's first show, Jamie Hayter took her first loss. She ended up losing to Julia Hart. When I first heard about this match being announced, I wasn't too sure about it. I was kind of worried, because I was just like, well, both women have just recently come back. You can't really have one of them lose. But they did. They had Jamie Hayter lose by Julia Hart just spitting mist in her face. And then she just proceeded to pin Jamie Hayter afterwards. Kinda wish Julia just did her finisher after the spit, but you know what, it's whatever, I suppose. So, and I know AEW had a pay-per-view, I did see that. Mercedes and Chris Statlander had the longest women's match of all time there, which is great. Kenny Omega made his return, which is fantastic. Cool to see Kenny Boy back. And as for TNA, there were a few things I watched. I saw Joe Hendry have a segment with Ryan Nemeth, and man, oh man, that Ryan guy, Ryan Ziegler, as I like to call him, man, that Ryan Ziegler is not very good on promos, I'll tell you that much. It might just be him trying to be annoying, because he's a heel, but yeah, he basically called Joe Hendry a mid-carder. And a entertainer. So that kind of started a whole feud between them. So, yeah, and a 8-woman tag match also happened. It was Jordan Grace and a bunch of baby faces, and I think Marsha Slamovich and the Knockouts Tag Team Champions. They were taking on Tasha Steelz, I think one of them, and I know Ash by Elegance and her tag team partner Heather by Elegance was another one, and there was another person. It was Rosemary. So those 4 ladies were in this 8-woman tag. The baby faces won, and then Tessa Blanchard would come down and attack Jordan Grace, and she would proceed to choke her with a bag. She would proceed to choke Jordan Grace with her bag, and then throw her out while choking her with a bag. And then she said, "I am taking out the trash." So then next week, I did see next week's show. Next week, the following week's show, they announced Jordan Grace versus Tessa Blanchard at Genesis. So, because I didn't know TNA had a pay-per-view, I had to look up the matches that they had planned, and they had Ash by Elegance and her tag team partner Heather, Reckless, Heather by Elegance now, because she's teaming with Ash, taking on Geordie Threat and Danny Luna. I would kind of like to see Ash and Heather win, because I think it's time for some new champions. Jordan Grace will be facing Tessa Blanchard, which we know Tessa will be winning that. And I also saw Joe Hendry will be facing Nick Nemeth. And in my opinion, Joe Hendry needs to win the title, otherwise he's probably going to end up going to WWE when his contract does eventually expire. So I feel like it's now or never for TNA. This week's Raw just had the crowning of the first IC Women's Champion, being Lyra Valkyria, and I don't know why I should have seen this coming. A part of me had that feeling they were going to give it to Lyra over freaking Dakota Kai. I mean, come on. Dakota Kai got injured for 4 months and had to come back from a 4-month injury. And you're telling me you would rather give Lyra Valkyria the title over a woman who literally had to come back from a 4-month injury? Apparently the answer is yes. Apparently the answer is no. They would rather give the title to someone as generic as Lyra Valkyria. Like, Lyra doesn't even have a character. She just has a catchy theme song with the crowd going, woo! Woo! every now and then to the beat of the music, and then she does like these these hand gestures. Like, she has no character. She's just, you know, Becky's girl. She's just Becky's girl. That's who Lyra Valkyria is. She's Becky's girl. She's being pushed because she's associated with Becky Lynch. If Becky Lynch never put her over at NXT Halloween Havoc, this woman would not be getting pushed. I mean, to be fair, Tiffany Stratton's the top champion and Becky Lynch never put her over. But all I'm saying is, Lyra Valkyria would not be where she is right now, just from the fact that she's Irish, just like Becky. And I'm not trying to say Becky is the only reason she keeps winning. I'm just saying Becky is one of the reasons why I believe they keep pushing her. Is one of the reasons why I believe they're pushing her. I don't even think Lyra is really that great of a wrestler. She's alright. Not terrible. She's not a terrible wrestler. I don't mind her. She's an alright wrestler. But again, someone like Dakota Kai who should have had this moment instead. But I will say, at least this was better than Chelsea Green being the Women's US Champion. At least it's better than Chelsea Green being the Women's US Champion. Dakota or Lyra would have been a better option than what they did with Chelsea Green. And also Damien and Finn had their main event, which, you know, cool. Hopefully we never see them feud again. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can really say about WWE. As for NXT, boy, I've got a lot to say about NXT. New Year's Evil, great. Julia, new NXT Women's Champion. Glad they finally gave her the belt. Glad they had her win the belt. They had Stephanie Valkyria win a Fatal 4-Way to become #1 contender for the North American belt, for the women's one, and I will be getting to this. And then they had Shotzi pin Fallon Henley to set up a match between the two of them, between Stephanie and Shotzi on this edition NXT episode. And they had Obafemi become the new NXT champion. So I think Trick Williams is probably coming up to the main roster. And so on NXT the following week, they have Shotzi defeat Stephanie Valkyria to become the #1 contender for the NXT Women's North American Championship. And a part of me is just like, why am I not surprised? You know, I see people getting angry, and yes, I was upset about this too. When I saw a few people get mad about this, a part of me is like, why are any of you surprised? I don't know why people are surprised when WWE literally screws someone over. You know, someone, like, look at Julia. She literally lost her first match as an NXT wrestler to Roxanne Perez. They had her lose her first match. Well, second. She versed Chelsea Green, sorry. And Zarya, who they hyped up, Zarya was someone they were hyping up for weeks. She came in with a big fanfare, destroying Fallon Henley and the Fatal Influence, and she had some nice dominating performances against Ren Sinclair and several other wrestlers. And now they're treating Zarya as a regular person backstage. She's just hanging around in the women's locker room like a normal person, befriending Sol Ruka. Again, nothing against Sol Ruka she's a great wrestler. But you got someone as Zarya who should be treated as a threatening monster, who should be scaring this women's division. This women's division should be wanting to go nowhere near this woman. But no, they're treating her like a normal person backstage. They have humanized Zarya. They've humanized her to make her more likable because she's a face. So they've now humanized her and they've got Sol Ruka trying to befriend her. Zarya shouldn't be trying to befriend Sol Ruka. She should be wanting to rip her damn head off. So to see people upset about Stephanie Vaquer losing her first match after 6 months, which I will say, that's definitely better than what Julia and Zarya were given. You know, being undefeated for 6 months is better than being undefeated, like in Julia's case, for about 2 weeks. And Zarya is also no longer undefeated. But seriously, Stephanie is clearly more liked by NXT, I guess. But still, her first loss being to Shotzi is probably by far the most laughable thing imaginable. And yes, I know Fatal Influence and Fallon Henley and her group were the reason why Stephanie Vaquer lost. But again, it just makes no sense. Like, Fallon doesn't want to fight any of them. Fallon shouldn't be wanting to fight any of them. Shotzi was the one that pinned her, but Stephanie's the threat to her? I don't get it. And I thought Fallon hates Shotzi's group, because she's with Gigi and what's her face? Tatum. So why is she helping Shotzi? It just makes no sense to me. It just makes no sense to me. It's completely stupid. NXT and their booking is completely all over the place, and it just doesn't make any sense. And that is why I find it completely unwatchable, because their stuff just does not make any sense. I would love someone to tell me how what happened here makes sense. I would love someone to tell me how Fallon Henley and her group costing Stephanie Vaquer this match made absolutely any sense to you. I'm waiting. Because it didn't make any sense. And Stephanie losing to Shotzi of all people is one of the worst things you could do. I would have accepted it if she lost to someone that I could be all like, yeah, okay, this is someone I can actually believe that could beat Stephanie Vaquer. But Shotzi, one of my least favorite wrestlers, is somehow given the honor to be the first person to pin Stephanie's shoulders to the mat. But again, people were mad about this, and I'm just like, why are you guys surprised that WWE ruined Stephanie Vaquer after 6 months? I don't know why I just don't get why people are surprised. I wasn't surprised. For some weird reason, I had that weird feeling that they were gonna have Shotzi win. By some weird way, I kind of thought I wouldn't be shocked if they actually had Shotzi win. So yeah, I get everyone's outrage, but at the same time, you shouldn't be surprised. Cora Jade got a win finally. She beat Kalani Jordan. So, there's that. And then, of course, Roxanne, who's not even the NXT Women's Champion anymore, still gets the main event, and she still gets the spotlight. She still gets all the spotlight, she's still in the main event segments. This woman's not even the champion anymore, and you're still putting her in main event segments. They had Bayley come out. And now they're teasing a feud between the two of them. Are you for real? You're still babying Roxanne. You're still handing this woman all these big-time opportunities when it's time for this woman to move on. Give it a rest, Shawn Michaels. Quit shoving this girl down our throats, please. She's not the champion anymore. Give Julia the spotlight. She's the champion now. One other thing about AEW I should mention here, because I should bring this up, because I did catch a glimpse of this. Mariah May had a segment with Harley Cameron. You know, she's no longer with Saraya, because Saraya's kind of been taken off TV. I think Saraya's taking a break. I think she's becoming more of a backstage producer, I was told. She's kind of more helping around backstage, like, not wrestling as much. Which is fine, which I'm fine with. Saraya doesn't have to wrestle all the time. She shouldn't have to always wrestle all the time. So Harley Cameron's now on her own, and now Harley Cameron seems to be transitioning into a babyface, which is good, because I think she's very likable. And Harley Cameron had a really funny and hilarious segment with Mariah May, which led to a match between the two of them on Collision. which Mariah did win. And then they had a casino battle royal, the first ever women's casino battle royal on Dynamite tonight, and Toni Storm won this, so she's going to be getting a title shot in Australia, which kind of confused me because they did a triple threat match where Toni Storm was in a triple threat with Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale, and Toni Storm lost. I think it was like a qualifying match. To get into the Casino Battle Royal. And then Toni Storm lost a qualifying match, but she's still in the Casino Battle Royal anyway. So unless I missed something, I don't know why Toni was even in it when she failed to qualify. But I know it's shocking that I'm questioning something for an Australian, but it's more I'm questioning the booking logic here. It has nothing to do with Toni. But Toni was the right person to win the Casino Battle Royal, or hell, even Harley Cameron. I would have been even fine with Harley Cameron. But hey, hopefully this Australia show is where they debut Indy Hartwell, because I've been hearing that Mercedes has been trying to get Tony Khan to sign Indy Hartwell to a contract to AEW. So hopefully, if Indy Hartwell does go to AEW, we see her debut at that particular show. Alright, so that's really all I've got for you guys for this All Wrestling review. Had to go through 2 weeks of wrestling. And also, I guess I should mention Bayley did become #1 contender in a Fatal 4-Way as well. And they've been doing some transfers, but you all already know that. You've been watching the show. You know that. Anyway, so I'm going to wrap up this video here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.